Boom. There you go, focus. Hey, internets. Had to drop this video. I went back and forth with a subscriber who texted me via my business line, and you can find that on my Facebook page if you add me there. And it does actually get me some of my first responses. Is this actually you? And it's a dedicated business line for my YouTubers or my subscribers. So as I'm going to title this, I'm talking trade shows, and I'm going to market for 2018. If you are a follower of the channel for any given length of time, then you know I've touched on this subject at least 2 or 3 times. In the length of my YouTube channel, 2 or 3 times. And so, again, in my mind, this content is something that I've said before. However, I get a lot of new subscribers. I get a lot of people that watch and don't subscribe. And I'm asking you to please subscribe so I can have an idea of my real numbers. And it would mean a lot to me for all this content that I'm putting out for you guys and giving you a reference of someone who's been working in fashion for over 18 years plus. Right? I'm not including the hustle days of starting a t-shirt line and hustling them as an 18-year-old kid. But anyways, if I give you value, please do me a solid and subscribe and follow me on my social media networks. In any case, got at me through my number and started talking about what you get for showing at the trade show, because he's thinking about doing it, and the price that we're looking at for the trade show is about 6 G's. Hold on one second. Getting my coffee. It's good, French roast. So, what do you get for 6 G's? Was his question when he texted me. So let me make this again. I'll give you the answer right up front, and then I'll give you some value following it. But if you're a new brand, if you have no retail base, by retail base, I mean you don't have a set number of retailers that are consistently purchasing your brand, which means you're off and running, okay? So if you don't have a set distribution base of people that are buying, or even direct to customer, if you have a direct to customer base, any kind of sales base. So if you're a new brand, and if you do not have a base, those are the 2 biggest criteria points for the beginning of me even thinking about having you show at a trade show. If those 2 things are a yes, you don't have any base, and you're a brand new brand, do not show at the trade show. Do not show at the trade show. And this was actually one of the things that made me want to drop a channel. I had a lot of brands, or a lot of people with would-be brands are saying, hey, I'm going to show at the next trade show. And this spans all the way back to the late 90s when ASR was still a show. Action Sports Retailer Show doesn't exist anymore. Agenda was smaller. Aaron had just started Agenda, and then now Agenda is the bookmark. Agenda is the streetwear show / skate board sports show. Agenda is. But Magic show in Vegas has always held pretty sturdy. Project show. Liberty, all of these shows. See, I'm dropping names of trade shows and I'm trying to remember them. There's been so many trade shows in the past. Pool Show, and I think Pool Show still exists. And let me tell you, if you've never clicked on my channel before, over 18 years of experience. So that means in my 20s, from about 21 all the way through, and then all the way through my 30s, I've probably missed 5 or 6 trade shows. So twice a year, every year for your big seasons. We're in Vegas, okay? We're in Vegas for the trade show. And all those aforementioned trade shows are there, right? So that they'll tend to congregate. If one is successful, you want to take some of that audience and get some brands into your show. That's how a trade show works, right? For those of you who are even greener than that, the trade show, just like any other industry, is where every buyer comes from every store and every brand comes from every label, traditionally in the past, I should say, and they check out their styles for the new upcoming season. The buyers make their buy, and then they ship to the store, and then your brand sells in the store. This is essentially how wholesale works, just to back up a little bit. So And if you know my channel, so designer, from designer, senior designer, all the way to I was creative director. For the last three companies, creative director, and then as of late, the last company I was a brand director. I was running the whole thing. So I've been to way too many trade shows, and I never need to go to a trade show again unless I'm getting paid to be there or have to be there for something. I would go there to speak. I would go there for a brand. Obviously, if they paid for everything, or I'm working for a brand, is the only reason I go. I don't need to anymore. Now, I'm a big fan of the trade show for you to go to check out industry and get actual faces of people who are doing things and what the brands look like, what their collection looks like. Check out your competition and that sort of thing. You can buy a pass as a general public. They're going to charge you a crazy amount, but you want to try to get in as industry. So you want to find retail. You want to put up a .com so it looks like your retail, or just go with someone who is an established retail. Find someone who's able to get passes for the show, and then get your name on there so that you can get registered. Best thing is to pre-register and get your pass before the show, so then you don't have to deal with trying to prove who you are at the show. But that's how, when I wasn't with a brand, that's how I used to hustle to get in. When I was before working in the industry, right? So I was working by the time I was 21, but 18, 19, I would try to come in, get over to Vegas, and I would just hook up with a retail shop that was going to show. They want buyers to show up so they could buy, so that they can sell their trade show booth or whatever. Now, in any case, I'm retracting from the main point of this, so hang with me. If you think going to the trade show is the next logical spot, and if you're watching my channel, I know that there's not a lot of information about how to succeed as a clothing line. This is why my channel exists. And even then, some people are like, well, I don't want to do consulting with you, John. It's too much money. However, you'll spend $8,000 to go to a trade show. It's not going to be a good experience. And let me tell you exactly what's going to happen. Because I've had multiple people show up at the trade show and come back later and say, John, you were right. I shouldn't have showed. I wish I would have kept my money. I wish I would have just spent like $1,000 to consult with you, or spent it on any kind of coaching, and it would have gone a lot farther than spending 8 G's in 1 week and then watching retailers walk around you because they don't know who you are. They don't know who your brand is. And so here's what happens. You think people are going to discover your brand and it's going to be the week that changes your life and creates your company. That's not what's going to happen. It's a very tight-knit group. You have to create rapport way beforehand. This is why I say if you have retail established, then at least you have people that'll come visit you, and they might even be able to co-sign you if they see other people that they know from other shops. But you should have some sort of relationship with these shops. You should have a different strategy, because in 2018, I even more so, I think, even if you already have an established base, I don't think going to the trade show is the best option for you, because if the end result is getting more retail shops or more potential buyers, I honestly think going directly to them and having conversations with them is worth a whole lot more. 10 times better for you to book a tour, okay, to New York or whatever area of the US. So, New York, and then go on the West Coast and come over to California and figure out what shops you want to get at, or just go on digitally on your computer and find out. Have your target list of retail that you really want to hang in. Figure out if you're going to have an answer anyway. Because if you want to spend $10,000 to six grand around the time this is post dating, $6,000 just gets you the space at most of these trade shows. Just get you the space. You need to make a booth. You got to have all your samples ready. You're going to have your catalogs ready. Business cards. Other people got to hold down the booth. So you're flying a friend, a business partner, brother, sister, best friend to come work the trade show with you. And you're going to stand there all day and watch people walk around your booth. That's what's going to happen. All my people who have ran through the trade show and had this scenario, please comment below. Please comment below and tell them that this is what's going to happen. And then you'll come back and contact me and tell you you're right. I've had people at the trade show tell me this was the worst decision that they've ever made in their life. And it's definitely crushed their dreams of putting more money into their clothing line. Okay? So this is me telling you, do not do it if you are a new brand and you have no retail base. This is not the way to do it. I feel like, especially now, it's more of a millennial thing to kind of like, oh, if I hit this button, I'm going to attract retail. And then some people will backpedal and say, well, we met a lot of really good contacts there. It was good for networking. Well, you could have showed up to the show and just came to network with people, so you wouldn't be stuck to your booth. You could go all around the show and exchange business cards with people, meet people. You'd have more time to do that. You'd have more time to chill. And then you'd be able to go to the parties at night as well and not be exhausted from working the booth the entire day. And a lot of networking happens at the after hours events. So that's a huge, huge chance to create rapport with people. You know what I mean? When they're just relaxing and lounging. Find that buyer that you found on LinkedIn that is doing buying for a major retail you want to be in. Buy them a drink, or just be a little bit more clever about how to create relationships with the people who are the decision makers for letting a brand in retail. Okay, and then I have a whole nother conversation with direct to customer, which I think is much more the route you need to take. Way more importantly now, moving forward, I don't even know what the futures of trade shows are. A lot of people always say they're dead or there is the same as last year, and definitely does not have the energy that it had in the early 2000s. And like I said, one of the big things for my channel is everything is changing and getting interrupted. So heed my warning. You could email me for more and at hi at jonphenom.com. Focus. Cool. And follow me on social media when you guys get the chance at Jon Phenom, okay? And you can find me, just Google me. Thank you for subscribing. I hope this gave you some value. I hope this saved you $8,000 or more. And we can get more into the conversation. Just ask questions below or anything else. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.